There's something about friendships between women tend to be more intimate. And so the line between like love and friendship can get blurred, especially in outright woman loving woman queer relationships. Not only can the love get blurred, the identities can get blurred and the codependency can be pretty high. Because of that, it can become a very emotionally fraught place. And this movie does a great job of depicting that. There's this underlying energy of this threat the entire time between the two characters. And it's like, okay, clearly.
When was the screening?
It was Tuesday night. I mean, you haven't seen it, right?
I have not seen it. Is it a religious movie? That's where I want to start.
No, it's not. It has some Christian symbols in it, like halos and like some stigmata kind of stuff. But the stigmata, of course, being the wounds of Christ. But no, I wouldn't say it's not Christian. It's not even religious at all. It also borrows from spiritualism with like Ouija board kind of stuff, like spirit possession. So it pulls from a wide spiritual, ghostly field.
Wide spiritual, ghostly field. It only sounds more intriguing the more we're talking about it. And for the audience, we're talking about the movie Mother Mary, directed and written by David Lowery, starring Anne Hathaway, Michaela Cole, Hunter Schafer, among others. Have you watched anything with Michaela Cole before? Have you watched her show?
Yeah, she was in Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, and so that's where I'm familiar with her. But I looked at her IMDb roster, and there's a show on HBO that I didn't ever check out that looked really interesting.
I May Destroy You?
Yes.
Yeah, that was kind of huge when it came out. It made a bunch of waves. Everyone was talking about it. I also didn't get to watch it yet, 2020. And then I know she was just in a movie with Ian McKellen, The Christophers, that just came out.
Yeah, The Christophers.
I had a lot of people talking about that as well. So when I saw she was on this cast, I was like, oh, this is the payoff of the show being huge in 2020. The casting.
Yeah.
Something's written. Okay. Anne Hathaway, was she in good form or strange?
No, she's in normal Anne Hathaway form, which is that she's just like hot and beautiful and effervescent.
Oh, is that all?
Yeah, is that all? I mean, I will say, I think there was Michaela Cole stole the show.
Wow.
I mean, this is a movie with basically two characters in it who talk to each other the entire time. You know, the total number of scenes is probably low compared to your normal, go at the movie theater.
Okay.
But the scenes are long and they're talk heavy, which honestly I love, right? I love a movie that's two characters trapped in a room because it forces you to write really good dialogue. And this is not necessarily a bottle episode of a movie, right? Where the plot does kind of move through scenes, but it feels more like a stage play than it does a summer blockbuster. And so in that sense, I feel like because so much this is a kind of relationship between Michaela Cole's character, Sam, and Anne Hathaway's character, Mother Mary, Michaela Cole did a great job. Her line delivery, her stage presence, just really palpable, really, really amazing.
Yeah, and for the audience, if you haven't heard of this movie, we'll give a quick little synopsis from IMDb. Mother Mary, long buried wounds rise up to the surface when iconic pop star Mother Mary reunites with her estranged best friend and former costume designer, San Anselm, on the eve of her comeback performance. Now, it's got music from Charlie XCX, Jack Antonoff, FKA Twigs. Am I saying that right?
Yeah.
Is it Twigs or just FKA?
No, I think
Twigs?
it's FKA Twigs.
Okay, thank you. I was like, how wide am I being right now? How was the music?
The music was very good. Anne Hathaway does her own singing in it.
What?
So yeah, she's a pop star after the order of Taylor Swift, Lady Gaga, Charlie XCX. There are a number of parts of the movie that are her on stage singing, performing. Anne Hathaway does a great job. I mean, she was in Rob, and so of course she can do her own singing, but she did a really good job. And the music isn't like the star of the show.
Okay.
It's there as a set dressing, which I think was the right move. The music shouldn't have been the star because this movie was not about being a pop star. The movie was about this relationship between Mother Mary and Sam. That's what the movie was about. And the music kind of serves as a good like stage prop for that.
Is it enough of an album that you're going to listen to it now that you've already seen the movie? You're like, oh, let's put it on repeat?
Probably not.
Okay.
But that's more of a function of me not really giving a damn about pop stars.
Yeah, that makes sense. What would you say were some of the shortcomings or things where you're like, oh, I wish this could have been different?
So almost nothing.
Oh, that's good. All right.
So I went and saw it with my girlfriend. And so we walk out of the screening and, like the screener people are there to like get some notes from you afterwards. And so we're waiting our turn to like kind of give our thoughts, and we're listening to these other guys give their thoughts on the movie. This one guy, bless his heart, he didn't understand that we were eavesdropping on him so hard and judging him so hard.
Okay.
He was just like, I'm like not convinced that it meant anything.
Oh.
And my girlfriend and I look at each other and we're like, what? Are you insane? Are you crazy? Did you watch the same movie that we watched? So here's the deal. This is a David Lowery movie, right?
Yeah.
So you've seen The Green Knight.
Yeah.
This is symbol heavy. This is mythic. Okay. It's archetypal. It is not going to hold your hand when you're watching this movie to tell you what it means. Yeah. This is a movie you need to bring your critical theory lens to this thing and really chew on it. This is not milk. This is meat. In an age of slop, David Lowery gives us a feast. Like just something hearty and unctuous, right? And so like, I think if there is any criticism that this movie is going to get, it's going to be that David Lowery might have gotten lost in his symbolism, might have gotten lost in the sauce a little bit. I don't think he did. You know, because me and my girlfriend, we talked for an hour after the movie about the movie and about, you know, its meanings and its symbols and its myth. And I think that means the movie did a great job. Yeah. And the other half of that is that I don't know if you or I, being two straight white dudes, really like have an understanding of this, but I'm familiar enough with queer culture to understand how weird sapphic relationships are.
Okay.
And that this movie, between the relationship between Sam and Mother Mary, is so clearly the fallout of a queer relationship. Mm-hmm. If you don't understand what sapphic relationships are like, you're going to miss this entirely. My girlfriend, she's queer, and so she recognized that immediately. And she was like, oh, this one was for the girls. David Lowery did this for the girls. And so, you know, when Joe Schmo, movie review guy, says like, I'm just like not convinced it meant anything. It's like, okay, well, duh. Of course you don't think that it was meant for you. It wasn't like, there's no way, there's no world in which you would like understand the symbols or the distraught emotional like relationality of this movie. It's because you've never been in a weird queer, like friendship loving sapphic relationship.
And for all those not familiar with sapphic,
women loving women relationships, there's something about friendships between women tend to be more emotional, tend to be more intimate. And so the line between like love and friendship can get blurred. And especially in outright like woman loving woman queer relationships, not only can the love get blurred, the identities can get blurred and the codependency can be pretty high. Ooh. Because of that, it can become a very emotionally fraught place. And this movie does a great job of depicting that. There's this underlying energy of this threat the entire time between the two characters. And it's like, okay, clearly these guys have been lovers before. Clearly.
Yeah. The trailer, I remember, definitely pointed that way. Longingly looking at photos, even some of the Christ-like imagery, it was a little sexual. So I'm glad that you did not ignore that while sitting in the theater. No. I will say this, in prep for today's chat about it, you go to Google News, you can see all kinds of articles written about it, journalist stuff. You go to a couple pages later, you want to see what the small outlets are talking about. Everyone consistently is talking about it's pop music and power, a psychodrama, they're saying. Yeah. It's not exactly a horror or thriller, but also everyone's talking about it's very divisive and it's a movie to like chew on. And in fact, one interview, David Lowery's like, I'm happy that you argue about my movies. It means I've done my job. Do you feel like watching this, it's going to be a big wide hit or like go to streaming and everyone's going to watch it? Or is it still going to be kind of like Green Knight and be so divisive that the filmy folks will watch? Everyone else will be, okay, on the fringe.
I unfortunately think that it's going to be the latter where, like, who knows? Maybe that after release, this thing could get legs and some word of mouth campaign can really get it going because it's not necessarily a love. This is part of the marketing. This is not a love story. This is not a ghost story. And so as a critique, it's not enough of a ghost story to enchant and enthrall the horror fans. And it's also not enough of a love story to really like capture the people who love romance movies because that's not what this is. This is a very mythic, archetypal kind of movie where it's very dreamlike. It feels like it could literally have been a stage play and they play with the blocking and the set design in ways that make it feel like it's a stage play. And they do, like, for me as watching movies, I'm like, oh my gosh, I love that they're doing that. That they're blurring the lines between what's real and this dream, like this kind of visionary sequence that you can't really tell. Because then they're leaning really hard into the artistic medium of film in order to be able to do this. And I love when movies can do that. But I don't know. I feel like we're just so accultured to slop and to easy movies that don't require much of us.
Yeah.
I hope dearly that this movie becomes a part of the conversation. And I'm going to tell all of my friends to go see it and like go get them to go see it on like a $5 Tuesday because it deserves to be seen. It is artistic. It is beautiful and it deserves to be seen. But I just feel like we're too used to movies holding our hand and just giving us like cool moments without really being something that we can chew on.
Yeah, they almost, in the last few years especially, you see when they set up a clippable moment where you're like, oh, here comes a speech, here comes a cool action sequence. It'll be really easy to go 2 minutes on TikTok. Whereas one reviewer was like, when I find myself in times of trouble, Mother Mary confounds me. Not everyone wants to buckle up for that, especially just talking about the state of the world. A lot of people say it affects what they feel like watching. You know, reality TV goes up. I'm excited to see it. I have not seen it yet. Any last thoughts before we sign off on Mother Mary?
No, just please go see it. And like also with the caveat that it's okay for movies to be exhausting.
Yeah.
More movies should be exhausting because it means you're engaging with it. It shouldn't just be like eating a spoonful of sugar. It should be like you're working on the gristle on the bone. You're trying to clean the bone off. And that's what this movie's like.
Yeah, I think also sometimes with movies, it's okay to let it wash over you the first time, second time, third time, or just enjoy it as like, this is something different than what I watch, and that's okay.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll keep thinking about it.
Yeah.
Hopefully same thing here with David Lowery's Mother Mary. If you haven't seen Green Knight, watch that as well. And we'll have links in the show notes where to buy tickets here, as well as the IMDb and a trailer. And until next time, watch good movies and TV.